Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for coming today. Really appreciate it on a Wednesday. Today, obviously, as the title states, we're doing real estate marketing for millennials, the most influential customers in history, consumers in history. True. I mean, obviously, we have resources as consumers right now that no other buyer, no other seller ever, had information to, resources to. So the marketing techniques for us are going to differ from your average demographic here in Naples, and our demographic will continue to grow. So it's important for us as salespeople to understand how to market for them, how to officially, build rapport with people is different than the olden ages when we used to build rapport differently. Now there's different tactics, especially social media. Larry Utterback from Movement Mortgage, one of my most trusted advisors, is going to talk to you a little bit about that today. I want to chime in with some questions. You guys know this is an open floor. Any questions you feel you may ask, anything you may not understand, please ask Larry or myself at any time whatsoever. I'm recording this live right now on Facebook, so you can always circle back to it, okay? Larry? Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yep.
So, millennials, how to market, how to profit with the most influential consumers in history. I love that title because, again, it is kind of looking at a completely different market segment than maybe most of us are used to at this point. I know there's a lot of millennials represented in our group this morning, so I'm fired up about that. So anytime you want to just jump in and take over, that would be awesome. I'll sit down and kind of cruise. But no, seriously. Again, like Kyle said, the marketplace is changing a little bit as we bring millennials into the marketplace. So it's very important for you to understand as you're growing your business how to communicate with millennials. Who millennials are, first off. That's one thing. We want to look at the why behind the what, right? We want to know who millennials are, how you communicate with them, and how you can really help them as they're making their buying and purchasing decisions into the future. So let's jump right in here. As Kyle said, my name is Larry Utterback. I'm a loan officer with Movement Mortgage here in Naples. We love Waterfront. We love working with Waterfront. I love doing transactions with Waterfront, and most of the Waterfront agents who we work with love doing transactions with us too. We can close things pretty quick, and we're pretty efficient, and I think you guys like that because guess what? You can stop focusing on the deal that's going right now and you can go get another one. And that's the important thing. I'm sure Kyle would like that too. Just a little bit about me. Again, my name up there. Movement Mortgage, we're a faith-based lender, which is kind of unusual. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later and what that means. We had another incredible year. Over 4,000, almost 5,000 families helped this year. The numbers are just staggering. What we're able to do and how we're able to honor and value our realtor partners and our buyers and sellers by our process. So hopefully we can talk about that. And if you haven't checked us out before, maybe you'll give us a shot on a deal coming up here in the future. I would love to work with you. And just on that bottom note there, I love peanut butter. Anybody else love peanut butter? I can be made to do things that I would be embarrassed to have on tape if somebody can tempt me with peanut butter. So, again, if you need a favor, if you need me to do something, if you have to have somebody, I don't want to say that. I was going to say if you have to have somebody killed. That's not, we're allowed. No, I'm kidding. If you need something done, lead with peanut butter. Peanut butter cookies, peanut butter sandwiches, I don't really care. As long as it's got peanut butter.
Crunchy or creamy would be the preference?
I prefer creamy.
All right.
I'm not
me too.
Like a Reese's? Oh. Well, why was I here? What was I doing? I didn't even know talking about it. So let's jump right in. Who are millennials? That always seems to be like the big question, right? Everybody's like, oh, those millennials, and who are they, and what are they? There's always something being said about millennials. Well, let's just start out with sheer numbers when we look at millennials compared to the other generations. As you can see, millennials represent the largest demographic group in the history of the United States, okay? Used to be the baby boomers, all right? Any baby boomers in the audience here? Awesome, good, yeah. Well, I'm holding up my hand too. I'm on the tail end of the baby boomers, come on. So millennials kind of blew us out of the water. My feeling is Gen Z is probably gonna surpass the millennials at some point. It's very possible, but right now millennials are solidly in the lead. So again, they're the hugest buying segment, hugest population in the United States, and we have to take notice of that. Every business has to take notice of that. Okay? How about some quick stats? Let's look at that. The average age of millennials, 27. Average age 27. Average age of real estate agents, 57. Do you think there might be a communication gap in there somewhere that we've got to figure out how to bridge? Not for you guys in the front row, but for the rest of us, that's something we have to pay attention to. Median income is $73,000, so again, very much in the home buying income range. 97% will finance their home purchase. 97% are going to finance, okay? Very important to keep in mind. 76% are going to be first-time home buyers, and 75% are going to comprise the workforce in 2025, which makes sense because they're young and they're growing up, and us old folks are playing golf. So money-wise, they've got a ton of spendable income. Okay, $2.45 trillion millennial spending today, 3.39 trillion projected for 2018, surpassing what the baby boomers are bringing to the table. Baby boomers being one of the wealthiest generations in the history of the United States. So again, millennials expected to surpass that. Hugely, hugely important to me. So what does this mean for millennials? Well, millennials were born in a digital world, right? Every generation's traits are defined by the world that surrounds them. Okay, what that means for millennials is that life is always on. There's always a phone, right? There's always an iPad. There's always some sort of input device that is going on, that they're plugged into, they're connected to. You could refer to it as technology kind of being a millennial's second skin. All right. So it's very important to know that from a communication standpoint, that millennials are super huge connected. They need to be connected, as a matter of fact, because because they feel that they need to be connected. We have to leverage all of our efforts into that connection. Anybody heard of FOMO? FOMO? Anybody hear that? Give me your hand. 1, 2. Anybody? 3, 4. What's FOMO mean? Somebody shout it out.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Hugely relevant to millennials because millennials very much live in the moment. They want to know what's going on. They want to know who's doing what. They want to enjoy the moment as much as possible. So they're always looking for connection, to be able to go hang out, to kind of do some fun things, to experience life. So that's very important. The experiential piece of it is hugely important for millennials. Let's look a little bit of how we're connected, right? I mean, you've got millennials checking their phone while they're in bed. Anybody do that? Pretty much everybody probably checks their phone when they're in bed. Okay, 51% while using the bathroom. Anybody want to raise their hand? Don't see a hand in the crowd. That's interesting. Okay, and 36% while eating a meal. Right? I mean, they just don't even stop. To just eat a meal, all right, checking their email. Well, I mean, I do that too, so I guess baby boomers do that as well. But while driving, okay, I don't do that at all, I'm kidding. 32% are connected and they're checking their phone while they're driving, okay? I try to do it at stoplights. That's the safe thing, right?
Yeah.
You stop, okay, look at your phone, look up, okay, then go. But this is a staggering number. 88% are the average number, 88 is the average number of texts sent by millennials each day. Okay? Any of my millennials in here send 88 texts a day.
That's like on a low day.
Proof, y'all. Proof. Okay? It's legit. Okay? So, how are we connecting? This is how we engage with millennials. Okay? Using the technology and their second skin. Number one, phone calls obviously can be just as meaningful as in-person meetings, in-person get-togethers. Okay? Retweets or likes on their social media. That's hugely important too, okay? It can be more relevant than an email. So just retweeting or liking something they post has the power to connect with them, okay? Again, text messages can carry the weight of the phone call. I haven't called 88 people in a day ever, okay? But our millennials in the group here say that 88 texts a day is not unusual on a slow day, I think I heard someone say. Okay, and the funny thing is using emoticons and emojis are just as impactful as spelling out the words for our millennials. They speak in visual, like in pictures, right? And that carries the same meaning. So if you're not up on what emojis and icons and things like that means, you might want to try to kind of lean into that a little bit and start using the thumbs up, start using the smiley face. Okay, use the poopy one every now and then, but not too often. 53% would give up their sense of smell instead of their social networks. 53%, over half, okay? That's pretty staggering. I mean, that's like, I have to be connected, okay? But here's what you want to ask millennial buyers when you're working with them, buyers or sellers for that matter, but probably mostly right now buyers. Ask them how they would like to be communicated with. I mean, that's simple, because they're not all the same. We're not painting in like, you know, we're not going to try to paint millennials in like a huge, just a broad brush stroke here. Ask them how they want to be communicated with. Do they like phone calls? Do they like texts? Do they like email? Okay? Can they carry on a conversation using 100% emojis? I don't know that anybody can, but you can ask them, okay? Again, they'll tell you how they like to be communicated with, and this is great customer service, okay? It's not like the only way you can talk to anybody or communicate with anybody now in business is via the phone. There's a lot of different ways. So find out, ask your customers how they like to be communicated with, okay? Millennials are hyper-connected and hyper-social, okay? Their top influencers are their friends and their family, all right? This is important. And they're also, 76% of their top influencers are online reviews. So it's very important that when you're working with customers now, that you're asking your customers and clients to review you online, okay? Because future customers, millennials, will utilize that information to make a decision as to whether to work with you. Okay?
I have a hard time doing business with people that don't at least have some sort of Google presence, or there's ratings, or even like when they don't have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, how serious are you about your business? It's not even about being a millennial or not anymore. It just shows me that you're not dedicated to your business.
Right.
If you're not at least putting out some sort of social influence in which people can review you.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, if you're not paying attention to the mode of communication that's used by 90% of the world,
right?
You know, how relevant is your business? You
exactly.
know, and how focused and how up to date are you going to be on lending laws or real estate laws? I mean, it kind of speaks much broader than they just were too lazy to build a Facebook page. I mean, it speaks about the person,
right?
Or could speak about the person. Online reviews. Think about it this way: online reviews are the new currency. Okay, new currency of trust. So as people write reviews for you, other buyers or sellers are going to read those reviews, and that's going to help them develop a sense of trust with you. So again, hugely important to reach out, ask for those reviews, and remember this: you're not only just selling to the person on the other side of the phone, that millennial buyer, let's say, but you're also kind of selling through your social networks and through your online reviews. You're kind of selling to their influencers, okay, to their friends and families, because 68% of their millennials, they're not going to make a decision without consulting their network first. Hey, what do you think? And hey, have you ever worked with? And hey, I'm thinking about. And hey, well, yeah, I looked them up online. They look cool, you know, sort of thing. So again, 68% are gonna have their friends and families checking you out as well. So your marketing efforts are not only in selling is not only focused specifically on that person, but on a much broader sense to their network. Okay, 36% of millennials say they depend on financial support from their families still. Now, what does that mean? Millennials, they all witnessed their parents. Most millennials, they were teenagers back during 2006, 2007 when the housing crash happened. Okay, so they witnessed their parents go through that. Okay, any of my millennials concur with that? Anybody have that experience? They witnessed that, right? So they saw the mistrust, they saw the broken promises, they saw things not go well, and they've kind of got, you know, maybe some walls up when it comes to real estate agents, okay? Because back then it was the Wild West. I mean, as fast as you could print out a contract, you could get it signed, and boom, it was on its way, and the lenders would jump on it, and boom, it was approved, and bam, they had a house, and you had more closings in one day than you could even get to. Okay, so they've seen that, but they've got kind of that wall up. Okay, but they also carry some debt from student loans at this point. So they kind of still sort of, you know, depend on maybe their parents' financial stability to kind of help them along the way. So there's a little hesitancy about maybe stepping away from the roost a little bit as they're paying off their own debt, but then they're also very, very optimistic. Okay, they have an overwhelming sense that they're going to make enough money, they're going to earn enough money in their lifetime, in their jobs, to have the life that they want, have the lifestyle they want, buy the home that they want, okay? Whereas you can see the other generations, are a lot less optimistic. They're almost kind of borderline pessimistic, okay? So again, there's still a lot of optimism, even though the millennials saw kind of the bad times, right? So that's very important to know, right?
I don't know if you're going to circle back to this at some point, but what are your thoughts about student debt and when that comes crashing down, how that's going to affect the market?
Well, again,
especially from a lending perspective, because you're seeing your millennial applications, and you're seeing huge, like Florida State, University of Florida, $250K to go through their program for 5-6 years, however long it is.
Yeah.
And how does that affect them? Most of these guys get out of work and they can't afford to pay their student debt, and they're having to refinance it and collateralize it or do something with it.
Yeah.
Right. That can't keep going forever. Same as the housing market back in
Right.
07, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. Well, like I was saying, debt's debt, so it's all going to be calculated into what the mortgage industry calls ability to repay. Okay, so again, based on how much debt they have out there and how it's restructured, my feeling is, and my hope is that there's going to be some sort of means to either defer some or part. Some or part of the payments and kind of break them up. So what you may be doing is maybe deferring a certain percentage of those debts, and they won't be necessarily counted against. Because you're right. I mean, if you've got $250,000 out and you're paying on all of them at the same time, I mean, your debt to income ratio.
I guess just how does a bank look at that, right? If sometimes you owe more on your student debt than you are like the house that you're purchasing, right?
Yeah. And
it happens. I've seen it.
Well, yeah, and fortunately, your student loan payments tend to be a lower,
factor,
a little lower factor
okay.
than your other debts. So that's taken into consideration. Oftentimes, your student loan payments are deferred. So lenders will use maybe a 1% figure to calculate a monthly loan payment on deferred. So, but again, it still factors into debt to income.
Fair.
So there is going to be, I agree with you, there's going to be some reckoning at some point, but there's going to have to be some sort of formula, some sort of factor that will allow people, youngsters, millennials to still buy houses.
Yeah, what the federal government is doing now is they're doing what is called ICR, which is income-driven repayment plans, and that's like a factor for a lender to look at, because after 10 years of it being paid on time, the rest of the loan falls off.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Depends on your trade, but they're doing that now.
Yeah, that could
That's
be.
in place now, so that comes in a factor as far as the lenders to look at that and they go, okay, well, maybe we can lend them this amount because that loan is being it's not delinquent or anything. It's in that plan, in that income-driven repayment plan. And after that, after the 10-year mark, it just falls off.
Yeah.
Right.
So the federal government's taking care of that.
Yeah. I guess that's my point is that there's going to have to be a variety of means to repackage, defer, forgive, stretch out, do whatever. Because you're right. I mean, if all those loans come into repayment at the same time, it would be almost impossible for
anybody to buy a house.
Absolutely. Again, so this is where it gets really interesting with millennials. Okay, millennials are what we call socially conscious. Now, what does that mean to us? Basically, many people, not just millennials, like to do business with companies that are doing good. Okay, so as you're looking across the spectrum of companies that you deal with, think about companies that that maybe are involved with a social effort, a social issue that resonates with you, and for whatever reason, that just you feel like that you have a connection there, and you want to do business with that company. Okay, so that's super important to millennials. Here's a great example. This is a classic example of a socially conscious company. Okay, and that's Tom's Shoes. Anybody heard of Tom's Shoes? Yeah, Tom's Shoes. All right, good. So basically, they built a business, they built a brand. Actually, they built a movement around this what they call a one-to-one campaign. Okay, essentially what that means is if anybody's not familiar with Tom's Shoes, what they do is you buy a pair of shoes from them, and they will donate a pair of shoes in a like a third world country in Nicaragua, the DR, different places, Haiti, different places they go around all around where kids just don't have access to footwear, okay? And they'll donate these shoes. There's some pictures of some kids where you can see them putting shoes on these kids, okay? That's what's called cause marketing, okay? Why is cause marketing important to your business, you might say? Well, let's look here, okay? Why would it make sense for you to associate yourself with a cause? This is a really important chart here. 88%, okay, almost 90% of people say that it's acceptable, that it's okay, that they approve of the fact that a company involves itself and uses cause-based marketing in their marketing programs. Okay, people are okay with it. Okay, people, 90%, feel that they want to know what's going on with you. They want to know that you're doing good. They want to know what you're involved in, and especially millennials, they want to know that you do more than just business 24 hours a day. Okay, because again, it's kind of peeling away the onion, if you will, of who you are, and they really like to know who you are as a person, not only just as a business person. Okay, so fantastic chart here. Let's see, 46% support issues in their local community, 37% support issues in America as a whole, and 17% support global issues. So again, 278 million Americans want to know what a company is doing to benefit a cause. So the numbers don't lie. It's hugely important if you're involved with a cause, if there's something that you're passionate about, to let people know, that you're involved with it. Okay, and use that in your marketing. Okay. Here's another example that's kind of in the real estate realm. Okay, there's a guy that worked for Tom's. Okay, his name was Blake Andrews, and he was actually in their one-to-one giving program that would do the shoes, and he would lead these mission trips down to different countries. He was in a particular country. He was in Nicaragua, as a matter of fact, and he saw this little girl. He was kind of, doing a little pair of shoes for her, or whatever. And like her eyes got really bright, her face got really lifted, and it was like she was so like I don't know, just energized, and the weight of the world was lifted off her, that she grabbed his hand and she pulled him, tugged him, wanted her to go with him, wanted him to go with her, and she ran. It was just down the block a little bit back to her house where her parents were, because she really wanted to have her parents meet the guy that gave her a pair of shoes. And when Blake got to these people's home, it was basically a shack. I mean, it was there were gaps in the walls. There was dirt on the floor. It was literally, it was just horrible living conditions. Okay, which is probably not unusual for anywhere in that part of the world. Okay, but at that moment, it just kind of stuck him that what if we could do something more proactively to provide not only shoes for these people, but what if we could provide housing for them? Okay, so he created this thing called Give Back Home, and how it works basically is as a real estate professional, okay, you can the cool thing about Give Back is they create all this website stuff. They create stuff you can put in your listing packets. They create splash pages. They do things like that. But basically, what you can do is you can put this on your website and in your pages. You can do it on Facebook. You can put it in your listing packets and let people know what you're doing, where they can contribute to it. They can contribute to a home. Homes are being built in Nicaragua. There's some in Mexico. There was hurricane relief that was occurring in Haiti. Okay, and you can have them click to donate there, but you can also then donate some of your real estate profits, your commissions, directly into that as well. So super powerful. Those are some of the projects they do. And here's a testimonial one of the agents put up that's associated with Give Back. She said, my seller was passionate about giving back, and his eyes lit up when I shared the program with him. Okay, so again, you could be out on a listing appointment, you could be meeting with a potential buyer, if it's a millennial buyer, and just the fact that you say, oh, by the way, this is something I believe in, this is something that I do, and it doesn't have to be give back, it could be anything, okay? It might just strike a chord, enough of a chord, to where that person's going to say, you know what, I really want to do business with him or her, okay? So just something to think about, cause-based marketing. Movement Mortgage, we also are involved with cause-based marketing. We have a Movement Foundation. All of our corporate profits, 100% of our corporate profits go to our foundation. What's our foundation do? A lot of things that you'd think foundations do. Number one, we have a charter school in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, it was basically we came in. There was a charter school that was trying to serve the underserved communities in and around Charlotte, and it was failing. It wasn't doing well. It wasn't well funded. They didn't have the proper facilities. The whole myriad of things. And our company came in and said, you know what, we're gonna take over this school. We're gonna fund it. We're gonna build a new site. We're gonna build a new school. We're gonna hire the teachers. We're gonna really serve this community. And that's what they did. So they bought this huge old shopping, like grocery store type big huge facility, and they renovated it and made it into a charter school, and it's doing fantastic. We also have a 15,000 acre farm in Kenya. Our CEO and some of the folks went over there on a mission trip. I told you that we were a faith-based company. We do that quite a bit. We go on mission trips. And they went over to Kenya, and they were in a village, and basically through conversations with the village and learning what was happening in the area, there was a great distance between the village and where they needed to get water from. The girls in the village are always tasked with having to go do some of that type of work. They go get the water for the family for the day. Well, bad guys knew that the girls would be coming back and forth, and unfortunately that was a perfect opportunity for these girls to be assaulted on a daily basis. And so through that you had issues with not only physical and mental injuries, but then you also had a lot of pregnancies with teenagers. And so again, just a lot of there wasn't a sustainable economy. There just wasn't a lot of great things happening. So as opposed to just going over there and putting a well in or whatever, we said, you know what? No, we're basically going to buy this entire area around you. We're going to own it, and we're going to help you create a sustainable economy, a farming system where you're not only growing crops for yourself, but you're also able to take those crops and those livestock that you have here, and you're able to create an economy where you're able to sell those items in the larger cities. So you have money and things coming in here. We're going to create a school for the girls. We're going to create a daycare center for their young children, so the girls can go to school and learn, and their children will be taken care of. So again, we really are trying to make a difference in that part of the world. So that's one of the many things we do. We also did a lot of relief for Hurricane Harvey, I think it was, the one out in Houston. Yeah. Sold T-shirts. We sold like 20,000 T-shirts, and they just said, hope for Houston or something like that on it. And our company basically paid for the shirts and donated 100% of the profits into hurricane relief. So again, just a lot of the things that we do. But it strikes a chord with people, right? I mean, how many people thought, wow, that farm was kind of cool. That's a great idea. I kind of have a lot of respect for movement for that. I mean, that's how it works. Okay, it's something that people can go, hey, I want to do business with a company that puts 100% of their corporate profits into something like that and is doing really good stuff in the world. Okay, I love that about our company. Love it. So you can see this was in 2016. You can see all the giving that we kind of did through our foundation. 12 billion. In total income, loan volume that we did. Basically all the way works it all the way down. Tons of stuff we did. Money we donated. We also do $10,000 a month. I forgot to mention that. The foundation gives away $10,000 a month to a local charity. So literally, if I did like a video, like if you said, hey, here's something we're doing. I'm involved with this group. I love the Humane Society. We're killing it. We're doing awesome stuff. We need to raise some money for a new thing for our animals. If you want, we can do a video together. I can send that in, and they review these videos every month. They might just pick your charity and give you $10,000. Give the charity $10,000. So just something to think about. That's something that we do. Happens every single month. Okay. Where was I here? Millennials are not the same. We can't pigeonhole young people doing what young people do as just millennials, okay? They are young people. Millennials are young people, but they have that second skin of technology. And it's important to understand and know the different kinds of millennials that are out there, different segments, if you will, okay? You got the younger millennials, they're the 18 to 24s, okay? And those folks are pretty much explorers right now. They're just trying to figure out their way. They're in college, okay? They're just trying to understand, kind of how to do this whole adult thing, get their education, figure out what they want to do moving forward in their life. And then you have the older millennials, okay? And we call those the aspirers, okay? They're on the path to success. They've got their degrees, maybe they're advanced degrees at this point. They're in their career path, okay? They're the ones that are probably going to be in your home buying, kind of on your home buying radar, all right? Okay, so the aspirer, excuse me. The aspirers and ambitious people who desire to achieve a status of success, okay? They're always looking ahead. They're the ones that we want to focus in on for home ownership. Okay, keep focused on them. So let's kick around some market research related to millennials. That's always interesting, okay? What's keeping millennials buyers right now from buying a home, right? Well, 64% don't think they have enough for down payment, okay? I use the word don't think they have enough for down payment because most of them don't know what they need for down payment, right? How many people said, I don't have enough? And you're like, well, how much do you think you have to have? 20%. That's what my parents say. Think about it. 20% down. Okay? No, that's not true. We know that's true. That's not true, right? I mean, you can go as little as 3% on a conventional loan as a first-time home buyer. You can go 0% for FHA, or excuse me, USDA. You can go 0% if you're a veteran. Okay? So we know that's not true, but they self-disqualify when it comes to down payment. 32%, okay, are saddled with that student loan debt that Kyle was talking about. Very important. They feel like they can't move forward because they got a lot of student loan debt, and it's either because they just don't feel like they can, or at this point they don't want to. They want to pay down some of that student loan debt before they get rolling, okay? 14% have credit card debt issues, okay? 25% they just don't know how to start. They just don't know I don't even know what happened. What's my first step? And I can attest to this. You wouldn't believe how many emails I get from leads that I'm reaching out to that I can tell they're younger people. And 7, 8 out of 10 anyway, I think more than 25%, really in my world, are like, hey, yeah, just tell me what's next. What do I do next? What's the process? Yes, sir.
If you touch on the 3% conventional loan, the 3% down payment,
yep.
How does somebody qualify for that? Is that specifically for first-time home buyers?
First-time home buyer, yeah.
Do they have to have specific
it's what they call 75-75% conventional. Yeah.
What does that mean?
95%, 75% loan to value.
Loan to value. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he also said too, like they have to fall in a certain income bracket, I would imagine.
Qualifying. Just qualifying for debt to income.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually a really good program.
But they don't have to make at least like 30 grand a year or something like that. It's just a matter of income.
No, I mean their debt to income ratio has to work out. So I mean if they've got low debt and high income, fantastic. I mean if they've got medium income and low debt, they might still qualify.
Okay.
If they've got lots of debt and not a lot of income, probably not gonna have it.
Right.
So.
Right.
Okay.
I would add to that too. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
right.
but a lot of people. I just put a millennial in a house in Riverstone, which he didn't know he could afford.
Right.
So they don't understand the money would be a big one. They don't understand how the cash flows through a real estate transaction. So I actually sat down with them and I took them through a settlement sheet.
Yeah.
Like here's the charges. You're going to get a mortgage. Here's probably going to be what you're going to pay for the mortgage. Here's your closing costs. You don't pay for my commission. The seller does. A lot of people are like, well, dude, I can't afford to pay you.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like the seller pays me. You don't have to pay me anything.
Yeah.
So it's just educating them on that process. Mm-hmm. And then to add all up, so I took all those fees that he was looking at, and I'm like, tell you what, if I can work out the deal, I'll have you finance your closing costs. So I'll have the seller provide a concession.
Right.
And it blew his mind. He's like, nobody's ever sat down and gone through the numbers with me.
Yeah.
So it just prompts me to like, any of you guys could like do a quick Facebook Live or a video or YouTube that explains, here's the process, here's the numbers, here's how they break up. And if you talk to me, I have this special program going on where I can get the seller to pay for your closing costs. Obviously, say it more tactfully than that, that's something super easy that you can put together and blast it out to your database or to your social media network.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that. They don't understand the numbers.
That is so good, and that's a great segue for where we're going.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
No, you're right on it, because that's literally, if there's one takeaway from this thing today, that in a nutshell is where we're going with this thing. 32% credit score. Okay, not great. Okay, 32% feel like, well, I don't have a good enough credit score. Again, misinformation could be working in there as well. Okay, they may think they have to have a 750. They may think, because again, who are their influencers, right? Their family and their friends. And if they're talking to their parents, oh, I remember when I bought a house, I had to have a 720 credit score. I had to have a 750 credit score. I had to have 20% down. If you don't have that, you're not ready, right? So again, well-meaning, well-intentioned, probably accurate at the time that individual was engaged in the process, but not necessarily accurate in today's market. So again, misinformation really plays a lot into that, okay? Average millennials credit score, 625, okay? Baby boomers, 709. So again, there's that just a little bit of a gap, right? For the most part, for most of your programs, okay, you're looking at about a 620 minimum credit score, okay? And again, this is an average, so I've worked with millennials that have a lot higher credit score than this. Right?
Which has got to be like a record low since 07, I would assume. I don't think I've ever seen it that low.
Yeah. But here's the deal. Again, every program has, at least in movement mortgage world, and I guess I don't know so much about the other worlds, but in movement mortgage world, we have an automatic loan committee review down to in the FHA world, where it needs to be a minimum of 620, we can go all the way down to 580 on the credit score. Okay, and it just automatically goes into our loan committee for review. Why do we do that? Again, because we want to love and honor people and value people, and we want to say, look, yeah, it doesn't fit this, but there could be extenuating circumstances. Let's get a bunch of underwriters around the table and look at your file and kind of tear it apart and really see that, see if can you do this, and is the credit score not really indicative of what's going on here, okay? So very important. Conventional loans, we can go down to 620, where usually you need about a 640 for conventional loans. So a little bit higher credit requirement for that, but we can drop down to 620 going to loan committee automatically. So hugely important as well when you're talking to buyers, because again, they may have a misconception about where their credit needs to be. All right, so there's good news, okay? Millennial renters, which most of your millennials are renting right now, okay? They want to own a home, but they need more confidence to move forward in their purchase, okay? 76 would buy one if they could afford one, okay? They probably can, okay? 78% say owning a home is an important part of any American dream, so they're not really any different than the rest of us, okay? We always hear about, well, most millennials are just going to want to continue to rent. That's just the way they are. Not necessarily, okay? Over 3/4 want to own a home, okay? 76% or 67% would own sooner if they had more confidence in the housing market. And that's education on your side, okay? Again, what they're seeing, what they're hearing on a national level from their news sources is going to give them different information than what our housing market is doing right here. And remember, a lot of them went through that crash as teenagers, as I said before, with their parents, so they're a little bit skittish when it comes to that, but you can educate through that. And 68% would buy sooner if they knew they're down, they wouldn't lose their down payment even if the market goes down. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that even means. I mean, again,
so they're saying they don't want to lose equity?
I guess, that's the only thing I can think of is it just means, the equity, okay? But again, with the low down payment that we have right now, their risk factor is fairly minimal compared to what it is, what it would have been, 15 years ago, okay? So again, just misinformation that you can educate your buyers through, okay? So let's look at how millennials make purchases, okay? One of the top places, as you can see on the far left, that millennials are using to research and shop and purchase, even in some cases, properties, is going to be online, okay? Millennials are going to go online, okay? Second to that, at 75% roughly, they're going to work through a real estate agent or a broker, all right? 64% are going to do a for sale by owner or swing by open house signs. You know, and the numbers keep going down.
Shots fired.
Keep going down from there. Okay, home builder, sales center, etc., etc. Okay, but most of them, okay, are going to go. Almost 90% are going to jump on the online and research it. I think we all know that's a fact. Yes, sir.
So then, the 80% of the online buyer would be a good indication that based on those online reviews, most millennials will find their buyer's agent online as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's like peanut butter and jelly. I just said peanut butter. You know, I mean, that's like right there. You know, I mean, again, that's where they're going to start the process. Then it all trickles down from there. You've got to be online. You've got to have reviews online. They got to be able to find you. They got to be able to know you, like you, and trust you. That all works in together. But yeah, absolutely. You know, you definitely have to have that presence there.
We found that when we get millennials to do video testimonials, it pays off 10 times more because they're so much more likely to do it. Mm-hmm. And then you get like that face to face, like, oh, he actually did his job, not he did his job.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. He should come to my video class.
Oh yeah, that we talked about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Absolutely. And setting up testimonials at the beginning of your process with somebody is hugely important, because then when things go great, which they're going to, you can come back and go, hey, remember we talked about doing that testimonial video? Would you mind doing that? And millennials, especially, like you're saying, they're comfortable. I mean, what do millennials do most of the time? Hey, how you doing, right? Hey, I'm gonna, you know. I mean, they're taking pictures. They're comfortable in front of a camera. Okay, they're shooting videos. They're sending videos to each other. You know, so yeah, absolutely. You know, probably 9 times out of 90% of your testimonials, you know, would come from millennials. I mean, because they'll just do it. You'll probably have a harder time getting an old guy like me, you know, not me, but older guys like me, you know, you probably have a harder time getting us to do something. Well, I don't know, I'm not very good in front of a camera, whatever, you know, but millennials will jump in and do it and love it, you know, and they'll try to embarrass you, so that's cool. Let's see, buyers who consider more than one agent. This is important, right? I mean, we always think about, well, hey, is my buyer shopping me? Are they considering, you know, more than just me? Are they looking at other people? Look at that, 62% of millennials are looking at more than one agent in their process. Okay, so you have to know, and again, that's higher than anybody else. Okay, your baby boomers, only 43% of us are going to go, well, okay, I'll shop around, and you know, I mean, most of the time you're like, I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, you're good. But millennials are like, I want to get the right person for this. This is huge. This is an important decision. Okay, how do buyers evaluate agents? And we talked about this a little bit before, okay, depending on with your social media stuff, your testimonies and things out there, but this is really what they're looking for, okay? They're looking for, you know, how much you know. 60% want to know that you know about the marketplace. They want to evaluate your knowledge based on where you're working and what you can tell them. You know, and I think that even slides into what Kyle was talking about before, about the process, educating them about the process. And in the video class, we talk about doing little short educational videos about the process. Hey, if this is what you want, you want to buy a house, this is what you need to start doing. This is what this is. Okay, this is the next step we do. Here's what you do after that. Okay, these little snippets of information. Okay, 58% visit a brokerage website. They're going to look on some brokerage, okay, and look around there. 56% ask family and friend, you know, family member or friend for a referral, okay, or an experience with somebody that they worked with, all right, and you can kind of see it goes from there. 50% read online reviews, okay, so that's an important number, but again, they're going to do their research, okay. 25% of first-time home buyers receive a financial gift to help with their down payment, okay. Loan products are friendly to gifts, okay, as long as we can source the funds. Most of your loan products are going to allow gifts, so that's something that your buyers can use and be very helpful, okay. Households with children are more likely to receive gifts and loans from family or friends. So if they've got kids, they've got usually a parental structure above them that can lean in and help them with gifts, okay. But let's look at our number up there. Let me see if I can find that. So your millennials are in the dark blue, okay, if you can't quite see that, all right? And in this far chart, the far left chart over here, basically 58% of millennials say that they saved for it over time, okay? A lot fewer across the board are from the sale of a previous home, okay? But in the millennial, in the third column over from the right, or from the left, you can see a gift from a family member or friend is the largest area of where millennials get their gifts from, and then it kind of filters out from there. Okay, so important to know that there's probably going to be a gift involved. Okay, and you want to make sure that when you talk to your lender, that's super helpful. If that's in the conversation you've had with them, they're like, yeah, I'm probably going to blah 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 for my parents and get some money, and okay, that's important for me to know, like up front when you talk to me and say, hey, I got a referral for you, here's what's going on. Because then I can make sure that I'm getting that information from them and starting that conversation with them right up front as well. Okay, it just makes things easier the more we know up front than the things we have to deal with later on.
Larry, real quick, I've seen, especially on some of our like sub 300 deals, people getting a lot of down payment assistance. Is that, have you seen that on your end too? And if so, I just started seeing that.
Like program, like
through
the lender?
They'll come in and they're doing like a highly leveraged mortgage, and then for the little like 3.5% or 5%, they're getting down payment assistance. So I saw that on my last deal that I sold over in East Naples, a single family home, no HOA, so it was an easy deal for the lender. But then that down payment assistance, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. There are some pilot programs out there right now. We actually put together a pilot program with the assistance of Fannie and Freddie, the conventional loan folks. That was a 3% down payment assistance program. There were some income caps. There's usually going to be some restrictions on it. It's not kind of a free for all. Hey, you want to buy a house? Here's 3%. You know, they definitely want to make sure that as they're working. And I think what the thought is that they're trying a lot of these pilot programs, and they're putting a fairly short, like maybe 6 to 10 month window on them to see how they play out and see what issues, you know, and they're tweaking each one a little bit, and they're making each one a little bit different. But I think that the bottom line is they're going to probably come out with something more across the board. You know, that okay, it's a special Fannie Freddie loan product, kind of like Home Ready or something. It'll be something like that. That's actually kind of an ongoing program. But right now, there's nothing ongoing. Okay, they're kind of pilot programs, and ours sunsetted December 31st. Okay, and so again, they're reviewing all that, and we're hoping to get that back. But yeah, I mean, they just kind of come and go.
Okay,
at this point. Okay, so here's some marketing do's and don'ts. Now that we understand who our millennials are and kind of what their home buying mindset is, here's how to attract them and get them to choose you. Okay, and this is what I what I was tying in with what Kyle was saying. Okay, stop selling to them and start helping them. Okay, start helping them. That's super hugely important to them. Okay, here's a letter to millennials, or from a millennial to real estate agents. Okay, as you can see, finding a real estate agent I can trust is difficult. Now, I look around the room here and I see a bunch of folks I can trust, but again, millennials find it difficult to trust. Okay, and no, seeing your face on a billboard or a bus bench isn't going to be helpful, right? I mean, we have to rethink how things have been done. We constantly have to evolve, and this next new market segment is where we need to evolve into. Okay, so the VP of Platform Development for Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, she gave us this little bit of information related to that. Make sure your website and blog and social media presence is a source of solid information, okay, for them. Not just that here's this home for sale, here's this home for sale, call me if I can help you, okay? When they go to your website, make sure there's value in there that will provide them information on how to engage in the process and that will help them as they're moving along, okay? Don't rush a meeting with them or hit them up with a sales or marketing pitch. Just provide relevant information about the process, and develop trust with them. Okay, that's hugely important. That's where it's weight in gold right there. Okay, so dovetailing off of that, provide helpful information. 74% said the biggest benefit they got from their real estate agent, okay, was to help them understand the process. Okay, there's infographics out there. There's different things. I'm sure Kyle can work on developing even some of that stuff or obtaining some of that stuff for you guys. But there's infographics
that will literally, you can post online, they're digital, that will walk people through the process and give them a sense of here's what's next. Some people put it on Monopoly boards. I mean, I don't even know if millennials know what Monopoly is anymore, but you can do something like that, which kind of puts it in an interesting way that will educate them to the process. Again, and then you can use it on your website, you can do videos, all that sort of stuff. There's two different kinds of helpful information. I mentioned that a little bit before when I was talking about doing videos, that little snackable content, okay? Information that can be shared in just little bites. You know, if you're interested in buying a home, here's the first thing that I would suggest you do. Boom, and be done. Okay, awesome, great. What's the next video? I'll watch the next one. Now I'm intrigued, right? Okay, snackable content. It just educates the consumer. The other type is visual content. Okay, and those are infographics. Those are generally what are used to make difficult concepts a little easier to understand. Okay, ebooks, videos, you can send out all that stuff. Okay. Here's why content matters. It's number one, it showcases your expertise. Remember, that was one of the things that they wanted to know. That was one of the things that was most important about them, when they pick a real estate agent, is expertise in the marketplace. Okay. Good content also attracts your target audience members. Okay. It engages your audience, which what we want to do. We want to engage them in the process. We want them to communicate with us and back and forth. We want to start that conversation. Obviously, it's going to increase our reach. But number 5, I almost think that this should go to the top of the chart, and that's build trust. Okay, good content, good educational information, helpful stuff, value add is going to build trust, hands down. Okay, and that's what you want to do. Okay. Here's how you choose the right platform for your social media business. And by the way, all these slides that I have and all these little graphics, if you guys want any of that stuff, just I put a card at all your desks. Just reach out to me. Let me know what you want some of that stuff. I mean, I've got that on a PDF as a standalone. You know, like I said, I can give you the slide deck. There's a lot of notes on there. I just as soon have you be able to access stuff and read through it. It's not like me keeping all this stuff. I'll take the part about peanut butter out so you don't feel weird about that. But anyway, you can see we've got all the different social media platforms up there. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, help me on that one. Instagram, thank you. I'm like, why don't I remember what that is? And then I don't know what even that G+ is.
Google+.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on, man.
I don't even use that. Does anybody even use that?
Yes.
Apparently 200 million people do.
Yeah. There used to be, but now it's okay. So anyway, 1.3 billion users on the other side of the spectrum for Facebook. Demographic ages, you know, there's your demographic ages. We won't go through all this, but you can see basically there's a purpose, it's best for, and then there's a downside for each one of them, okay? So as long as you know kind of what the advantages of each one is, again, you can put your content there to get the most reach, okay? Who's your audience? How can you reach them? What are your goals? That all goes into the consideration. Okay, and using infographics, ebooks, video, you can put all that stuff in any of those segments there. Okay, here's the top 5 real estate videos on YouTube, just in case you guys are wondering. We talked a little bit about this in the video class. 86% are community videos. Okay, videos that give people a sense of what it's like to live in your community, either your community as a whole, Naples as a whole, Estero as a whole, what's great about those areas, or even just maybe a certain community that you're farming, Mediterra or Foxfire or something like that. Okay, 70% are listing videos. 70, you know, I mean that's kind of the bread and butter of videos. We want to tell people, you know, visually, we want to give them a sense of what that video, that listing is like, and why they should live there, why they should buy it, for God's sakes. Okay, 54% are informative videos. Those are the teaching videos. That's the snackable content. That's the how-to. Okay, how to prepare to buy a home, how to handle gift funds if you wanted to do something like how to get a gift from your parents, how, you know, all that. Basically, anything that you talk to people about during the course of the day can probably be put into a how-to video that would help a much broader audience and establish you as an expert. 30% testimonial videos, okay, and then 25% about me. So that's generally kind of the makeup type of real estate videos on YouTube. This is a great video, and we're going to touch just on a few videos. I don't want to steal the thunder from my video class, But a housing market update video is hugely powerful, okay? Because again, people are saying, what's going on in the market? What kind of sales are you seeing? Are you seeing mostly buyers? Are you seeing mostly sellers? Are you doing condos? Are you doing this? What's the price point, right? And we're kind of lucky here in that our local board of realtors, Naples area board of realtors, does a housing marketing conference all the time, okay? They put out numbers quarterly. They'll generally do monthly updates, okay? Send one of these videos out. You don't have to present the entire 6 pages, word for word. Pick out some things that are important that you know are important to your audience. Just maybe 2 or 3 things. Here's the kind of houses, here's the price point, here's the days on the market. Thank you very much. Here's another thing though that you can do. This is kind of a neat little idea. We talked about it in the video class. If anybody's ever done a business review video, okay, that's a neat video that you can do that brings kind of knowledge and kind of brings experience to your viewers, right? If there's a new restaurant that's opening up near you or near one of your listings, if there's a new store opening up. There's a realtor that was at another brokerage that did this to huge advantage. He knew that there was a Publix going in out off of McLaughlin Road out there, kind of east, quite east of town there. And so he ended up doing, as soon as he found out about it, because he lives in that area, that was important. He farms that area, so he started doing Facebook Live videos where he would say, hey, this is what's going on, and here's that, and then he would stop in there about, I don't know, every couple, 3 weeks, and just do a Facebook Live video kind of showing the progress of what was going on with it. So he was kind of building excitement about it. When he did the grand opening, prior to the grand opening, obviously he talked to some of the folks there, because he's a personable person, talked to some of the folks there. He ended up getting some gift cards from Publix, and at the grand opening, he did a big, Facebook Live video and gave away some, through engaging his viewers, gave away some of these gift cards. He, I don't know, had $300, $400, $500 gift cards. Okay, his live, that last live video that he did, got over 15,000 views. Okay, 15,000 native views on Facebook. So hugely powerful. But what you can do is you can actually combine a business review, a business type video, something that's going to bring some interest to a potential buyer or seller, with a marketing update video. Why not go to, hey, it's the grand opening of Shays at Lansdowne Street. We're just going to pop in here and do a little video, and while I'm sitting here and I'm ordering my food, they got great food, by the way, just want to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the marketplace. Here's what's happening, boom, boom, boom. And so if you have any questions on that, let me know. And hey, here's my food, love this place. If you haven't been to Shays, blah, blah, blah. So again, combining the two, educational, informational, and community related, it's super powerful. All right? Community event videos. Tell people what's going on in the community. They like to see that. They want to know what's going on, especially if it's a cause-based thing. If you're walking in a fundraising walk, if you're involved with something like that, if there's a parade or something that supports a cause that you're involved in. Again, super, super powerful. Does anybody believe good listing photos matter? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, listing photos are huge. Let me see what we got going on here.
Hey guys, Tori Connie here with Remax Results, and at my newest listing.
This is a listing video.
Oh my gosh, Maple Grove.
You can see she's going to use some listing photos
about 20 minutes
in her
from
video.
Minneapolis, but it has the charm of a small town. It's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath home that's been impeccably maintained by the same owners for 30 years. In my experience, homes that go on the market that have had the same owners for a long time are typically in very good condition, and this one is. Oh my gosh, this backyard is so serene. It's the perfect place to hang out after a long day on the deck with a cocktail. The other thing I love about this house is that it's in a neighborhood with tons of walking paths. What kid wouldn't love to live across the street from this awesome lake? There's trumpeter swans, you can catch frogs, there's a huge baseball field, and right over there, a tennis court and a playground, all across the street.
Pretty simple listing video, but she used some good quality listing photos in it.
Oh, she did. Remember we talked about it last time? That was an iPhone video.
Yeah,
iPhone production.
Yep. She shot it on the iPhone. The one part where she was walking down the pathway, she was using a wireless microphone. But you know what? Come to my video class. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
so yeah. But again, a nice combination of different things. Just telling, giving people a sense of what that listing is like and why they should live there. Okay. So share your content that you build online, that you create online to build your online presence. Once you do some of these videos, get it out there. Get all that content out there. All right. Here's a huge key. Hire a professional photographer to do anything that involves you. I know a lot of times it's probably a great idea to hire a professional photographer to do your listing video photos as well. But definitely anything related to your image, your brand. Make sure that you hire a professional photographer for it. Of course, Ellen has a little bit to say on that. Let's see what she's.
Most professions don't really show you their photos when they advertise, but for some reason realtors do, and I've always been surprised by. They're always on park benches, or they're very interesting photos, and these are real photos of realtors. This first one is Brad Lamb from Toronto, Canada. This is his ad. All right. Miles above the competition. So when it comes time to make the most important financial investment of your life, choose the space sheep. He wouldn't steer me wrong, that guy is... This is Dorita Mayu from Largo, Florida. There she is with her Doritos.
Why?
The only problem with her is when she shows a house. Well, take a look. This is one of the houses she was showing. She's got the Cheeto. That's how she shows a house. Here's a wall. That's how she shows it. Now, this is an ad. This is on a bench in Royal LePage, Canada. Wendy Wacko. You don't want to go with just any wacko. That's not the first wacko I've seen on a park bench, by the way. This is Sandy Ohms in Fremont, California. Now, if you'll just push me down the hall, I'll show you the bedroom. All right, and here's another one of her ads, actually. This is real. This is her on the moon. For some reason in the background, there's another moon. Oh, my God. And then even on the moon, there's competition. Look who's out there. Oh. The guy. You see it's on a realtor. Maybe I can send it to me. When we come back, Diane Kit.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, we definitely want to make sure that the photos that we're using, we're making wise choices related to that. Yeah, I don't get it. The Doritos and the shopping cart. That was don't do that. So build credibility. Number 4, build credibility through reviews. Get those reviews. Okay, if you're using getting Zillow reviews or you're getting testimonial reviews that people are putting on Facebook. Ask people, to just write it, write a testimonial review for you. Remember, millennial purchasing decisions are disproportionately affected and impacted by customer reviews. So always be seeking those customer reviews on every transaction that you do. And here's another thing. I mean, it doesn't just have to be customers. Okay, it can be business colleagues that you work with. Okay, the title company that you work with, the inspectors that you work with. Anyone that's in the business, that have had a chance to work with you, they can basically give you
give us reviews, Claire?
What's that?
Will you give us reviews?
Absolutely. One at a time. It'll take a while. But yeah, I mean that's definitely leverage that. Okay. Now, 45% of customers share their negative experiences over social media. So if almost half of them are going to tell bad things about you, get the other half to say good things about you. At least the balance is out, okay? And then only 35% of them post on review sites, all right? So again, use the leverage that you can to get the great videos in your pipeline, okay? Here's the easiest way to set up a good testimonial, okay? Number one, obviously you got to ask for them. But remember I said start it at the beginning of the transaction with them when you're first sitting down with them. Hey, when this thing goes great, which I know it's going to, would you mind doing a testimonial video for me? Okay? And there's going to be 3 things that I'm going to ask you. Here's what I'm going to ask you to talk about. Number one, how did you choose me? Okay, out of the whole world of realtors, how did you end up with me? Okay. Number 2, what was your biggest concern in the process of either buying or selling your home? What was your biggest concern? And number 3, what was your result? Okay. If you can describe those 3 things for me in a testimonial, that would be awesome. Okay. So now what you've done is you've kind of focused their thoughts a little bit. It's not like, well, I was born in Tennessee in 1942. You know, you've kind of got them focused on what you want them to talk about. And just those 3 things there make it very, very simple for them to just give you a nice, powerful testimonial. Okay? Everything you do, be mobile friendly. Okay? As we talked about, millennials, the second skin is technology. They don't go anywhere, including the bathroom, without their phone. So be mobile friendly. Okay? Okay? An important thing is make sure you're doing single property websites that are mobile friendly. Okay? You guys do single property through your lead stuff. So use, make sure that you're leveraging all that stuff and you're getting that information out there. Anything that you do tech-wise needs to be mobile friendly. Okay? If it's not mobile friendly, they'll move on to something else. Okay? Here's a great comment, okay, from this person, Laura Monroe. She's involved with the industry there, social media. She says, own and inspire your local community offline and online. Inform, tickle, connect, and spark prospects and clients with well-designed multimedia content strategies. Video, email, social media, all centered around finding a home and a lifestyle that's perfect for your clients. The finishing touch, brilliant customer service. So you've still got to provide that great customer service, which for millennials, it's what? Stop selling, start helping. But how you're communicating with them is all that stuff at the top. Okay? All that stuff at the top there. Okay? So tools and resources. Here's some tools and resources to get your information out there. Okay? Obviously we're using Facebook, we're using all the social media platforms, but as far as creating videos, creating a content delivery vehicle of some nature, one particular kind, this is Videolicious. Okay? You can make videos with that. Right? That's one program out there. Kyle's in our social media class, Kyle showed people how to use iMovie. Okay, I use Adobe Premiere Clips a lot. So again, there's a variety of programs out there, and most of them are free. A lot of them are free. You just have to do some editing, and it's really not that hard. Okay, Animoto is another one. You can take either still photos or video, and you can make great videos using Animoto. Okay, VS Screen. This is kind of interesting. You can actually hire out this service to build these build videos for you. You can get actor-based consumer videos that would teach if you don't want to do that yourself. They're realtor, turnkey broker branded, so you don't have to worry about that. So again, there's a lot of solutions there if you want to pay for it. But so much of this stuff you can do on your own, and it looks just awesome. And then here's a source for infographics and ebooks. As I was speaking about, take a photo of one of your listings, drop some information over it. Or if again, whatever concept that you're working on, you can just use, you drop text right over a video. Canva is another one that's easy to use, does the same sort of thing, text over photos. Social survey is great too. Okay, engage people through surveys. You can post those and get engagement through that. So and that's a good place for online reviews as well. You can kind of put that out there and have people drop reviews in there for you, and then you can link it to your other sites. HomeSnap, I know most of you guys know about HomeSnap in the area. That's a really cool program as well that you should look into. So how do we connect and engage with millennials? Number one, get tech and mobile friendly. Absolutely everything you do, you got to think tech and mobile. Okay. Number two, stop selling, start helping. There should be a star next to that. These folks need to be helped. Provide content that educates, help them understand the process as far as how they need to prepare to buy a home, what they need to do, what their credit score needs to be, what their down payment needs to be, all those sort of things that will dispel some of those myths. build credibility with reviews and customer stories, because we know that, again, those reviews, those testimonials, it's the new currency of trust, right? Talk about that. Align your brand with social causes. We know that that's hugely important. And be authentic. You know, that's the big thing. Just be authentic. Let them know that you're there to help them. You're not just another realtor that's just trying to sell them a home, because they probably see that a lot. Okay? Anybody get one good idea from today? Anything, like, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay? All right, good. That's awesome. Would you mind if I take like 5 minutes and tell you a little bit just more about us, about movement? Would that be okay? Is it good? Everybody good? Hands? Anybody? No hands?
Can you text us? No.
No.
I certainly can.
No,
not 88 times a day though. Okay. So anyway, I mentioned that we were the home of the 671 process. Okay. 671 process is a unique way that we process mortgage applications. What it does is it helps us get loans clear to close in sometimes as little as 8 to 10 business days from contract. What? Yes, 8 to 10 business days from contract. We can have loans clear to close. Okay. But what I'll do is I'm just going to run a real quick little video, and it will kind of explain the process.
Here's the old school way to buy a house. You start shopping, find your dream home, and then you figure out how to pay for it. The loan officer at a bank pulls your credit and income to see if you qualify for a loan. But there's a problem. The loan officer can't approve you. An underwriter has to do that.
Uh-oh.
So you go under contract on a house based on a salesperson's best guess. Meanwhile, they expect you to fax and email a ton of paper documents. Then, days or weeks later,
That's really irritating.
your
I'm
file finally
Buffer all
shows.
the way?
I don't know why that. What's that?
Did not buffer all the way, maybe?
It's
Pause it
just
for a minute.
it's just
call it, see if it.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Just ask the millennials how to fix it.
It's
Yeah.
janky. It's for whatever reason it's being janky. So basically, what we're the old way, and you guys are familiar with the old way, right? And that's all she's saying right now is you'll go out, you'll start working with a client. They may or may not be pre-qualified. If they are pre-qualified, that's great. That's based on a best guess, right? I mean, I tell my loan officer I make $140,000 a year, and I'm a dog walker. But there's no documents that verify that. It's all based on word of mouth. Okay, loan officer runs the credit, looks at the income, everything looks kind of good. The pre-qualification letter goes out. So you go out, you sell the house, you get them on a contract for the home, and then that's when the lender's work really starts, right? That's when we have to start gathering tax returns. That's when we're gathering all this other stuff. That's when then it finally gets to an underwriter somewhere 2, maybe even 3 weeks into the process after contract for the underwriter to actually have their first opportunity to review that file and issue any sort of opinion on it, approved or not. Okay, so you're already 3 weeks into the game. All right, what happens is then if it is a negative determination, then now you've got an upset. You're upset. Your clients are upset. Your sellers are upset. The other realtor's upset. It's not a referable experience for anybody. Okay, nobody wins in that situation. Okay. What Movement Mortgage does is we flip the process upside down, right? What we do is we actually do all of that legwork, all of that discovery, all of that verification on the front end, okay? So how does that work? You send us a referral, right? My first conversation with that referral ends up getting a lot of that pre-qualification information, but at the same time, I'm also gathering all the documents I need for a pre-approval, all right? I gather all those documents. We have a mobile-friendly app. You can see I put a little app on your desk there. That's what our app looks like. Okay, it's mobile-friendly, and they can upload all their documents right through that. They can attach their bank accounts to it. They don't have to upload bank statements and scan it and all that kind of stuff. It's all done electronically. All right. Once I get that person pre-qualified, I'm going to let you know that they're pre-qualified, but I'm going to tell you my next step is to get this into my underwriter for pre-approval. I send that into the underwriter. The underwriter has 6 business hours to review that loan and issue some sort of determination. Okay? So, hypothetically speaking, same day that you send me that referral, we could potentially have a fully underwritten pre-approval in our hand that now you can take out and go shopping with. And what's the issue that we're only dealing with now at this point is either A, if the borrower decides to go buy a Ferrari instead of a house, or B, the home doesn't appraise and there's an issue with the home itself. But as far as the borrower, as long as they don't buy that Ferrari, we've made a loan commitment to them to commit to do that loan. That's how we can close in 8 to 10 business days, because literally, just on the other side of us, of you getting us that contract, my processor has 7 business days to gather whatever conditions that the underwriters put out, and my underwriter then has 24 hours to do a final review and clear to close. So again, 8 to 10 business days, we can have this thing wrapped up and ready to go for you. That's a little bit different than the old way. Does that sound like a better way to do it? Does it sound like a better way to do it? Yeah, good. That's what we love. That's why we do it. I mean, we want to honor you. We want to honor our buyers. We want everybody to. We wanted to change the face of the mortgage industry, and I think we've really done that. If there's any sellers agents in the room, anybody do any listings? Mostly listings. Okay. Have the conversation, okay, with your buyers, or excuse me, with your sellers, about what are you going to do next, okay? What's your next move? Are you purchasing a home here locally? Are you going to finance that home using some of the proceeds, okay? If they're financing, get them in to see me, get them referred to me, let me follow up with them, just like you would a buyer client. Because what happens if we end up approving them, if they come with us and approve them, and they end up doing the loan through us, we'll give them a $250 credit against their closing costs, okay? So you're already kind of providing a value add to your listing clients just by hooking them up with us.
Is that marketing material you have?
Yeah. Actually, I've got. I don't have a few over there. I've got some out in my car, but yeah, I got a ton of those.
Yeah, we'll bring some to the office next time. Just bring as many as possible.
Yeah,
that'd be good to put in your listing presentation.
Yeah, you can drop your card in there, and I drop my card in there, and everybody's happy. So again, we want just more referable clients all the way around. Okay. So your big idea. Who had a good idea? Who had a big idea? Who got an idea out of today that they would want to share? Yeah, Kevin.
Well, using the idea of millennials and their average income range, we've been doing a lot more Facebook targeted marketing, so we could use that, based on, are you looking for, home-based review buying, review-based home buying, target that particular age range, target that particular income range, possibly, go upon net spend or net worth. So we can run something like that, and that way that might bring in, that targeted age, and we can kind of have a link for maybe a movement mortgage ad that says something about, hey, here's a general millennial, here's what they normally do, and here's the process.
I like it.
You can throw in that infographic video of the shark. Well, when it works, but
yeah,
the one that you had in there.
Yeah,
is it on YouTube?
It's never. Yeah.
Just send me the link. I'll blast it out to everybody.
Yeah.
It's working fine on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch. We have a bunch of videos.
Yes, and that's all good marketing stuff. Content is king.
Yeah,
Jared,
absolutely.
Do you have some, bro?
Yeah, I think that doing the ebook and showing them kind of like, here's what you need to do to buy a house. You can do that, and because we talk about doing it like an ATM. So when you go to somebody and you try to withdraw money, but you've never made a deposit, people think of it in a negative term. So if you're like, hey, look, I'm going to give you this free information. Then when you go back, you can ask for something in return.
Yeah, absolutely. Lead with value, always.
That's huge. Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I know you guys do. That's why I work with you guys, because you get it.
Yeah. I had a pretty solid idea.
Yeah.
Kind of saw it implemented before, but I feel like you guys could do it much easier, much faster than I could. But think about your last transaction, your last deal that you did, whether it's buy or sell side, right? If you didn't talk to me or Larry, we'll take you through a simulated one. But point being, break out the whole transaction into steps, right? So step number 1, when you met him, all the way to final step when you closed, right? Signed the docs, got your commission. Each step should be just a quick video on YouTube. So make it a video series of steps and upload that into YouTube. Like, here's step number 1, here's what I do, and next week tune in for step number 2, or next day, or tomorrow, or this afternoon, or whatever. By the end of that, you'll have a full series of videos coming from step 1 all the way to the last step on how to buy a home or how to sell a home, right? And then just blast that out to your audience. Or make it like downloadable content on Facebook that somebody can opt into, like with a landing page if you want to get crazy with it. But simple, you can just upload each video into YouTube, make them 2 minutes max each, and you should be able to break down a whole transaction, no problem. Yeah. And that you're providing value, like that said, information, which is king, right? Mm-hmm. And you're educating the buyers and sellers. I'm so shocked that people are so misinformed. They think that buyers have to pay buyer's agent's commission. That's crazy. You don't have to do that. And then how the other process works on the other side of the sellers too. So.
It's easy for us to forget how much we know about about a transaction and how little someone outside of our industry knows about it. Because we just go, well, of course not. You know, of course you wouldn't. You know, why would you think that? Because they don't know. They really don't know. So literally, you know, that's such a brilliant idea of just walking through someone step by step in a transaction, from either a buyer side transaction or a sell side transaction. I mean, you could absolutely do that. That would be hugely, you know, powerful for potential seller clients. Because what could you do? Could you, even after you meet with them, if you get hooked up with them and they haven't seen them, you can refer them. You could just say, look, I've got a whole YouTube channel on all the steps related to successfully selling a home. You should check it out.
Yeah, that's huge. You can use that to capture clients and also to educate them if they have a question. Here's the answer, by the way. Here's a video that I created just for this type of scenario.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't feel like confident in your video marketing or making abilities, right? There's no excuse anymore. You can hop on a website like Fiverr, right? Fiverr.com. That's 5 with 2 R's, and you can pay somebody like $20 to do it for you, and they'll have it ready. You just give them the content, and they'll do it for you.
Yeah, that's so good. And here's the big thing: when it comes to anything we do in this business, remember, you don't have to get 100% right. Just have to get it going. Okay, and so when it comes to using video, when it comes to posting content, when it comes to targeting millennials and trying to, you know, understand how to communicate with them, don't feel like you have to have it 100% right to start. Just start doing it, and it'll get better. Okay, just get it going. You guys got any questions? Any questions for me? Open forum. Nothing whatsoever. Yes, sir.
What's your thought on YouTube compared to like a Facebook or Instagram?
Different uses. Right. Different uses. Your Facebook viewers are video class. You gotta go.
Yeah, you guys should go.
YouTube viewers tend to be more committed to watching videos longer. Okay, so if you're going to do something, or if you want to shoot a video that has a little bit longer content in it, YouTube is a great place for it. Okay, most of them, again, you're looking through, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch a how-to video, and I got my pop and I got my chips. I'm gonna be here for a while. All right. Facebook, on the other hand, is much more. Okay, so any video that you're putting on Facebook, like that 1 minute, 2 minute type video, that's about max on Facebook as far as a prepared video. Facebook Live is a different story. Okay, people will hang out for Facebook Live. I call it kind of like the car crash effect. You know, is people kind of want to sit on the sidelines and watch something happen, like a duck fly across the shot, or you know, somebody trip as they're walking. You know, there's sort of that, you just don't know what's going to happen in live, and I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of morbid that way, but I always love to kind of see that. You know, like it just intrigues me, like this could just go off the rails so awesome. It's gonna be great. But people will stick around for Facebook Live videos more than they would for a recorded video. So keep your recorded videos short on Facebook. They can be longer on YouTube, but they both have a place, and you should be using both. Anything else? Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
I hope we'll have a chance to work together. I'd love to kind of show you, prove to you what we're doing, and prove the concept of moving mortgage. And again, we'll do some more of these classes in the future. We've got a Facebook Live one coming up.
Yeah. What's the date on that?
Probably, well, I don't know if we set a date or did we, but next month.
Okay.
We'll get it out. So Facebook Live is huge, and then I know we've got an Instagram one coming out as well. So how to use Instagram in your marketing. So thanks, guys. Hope
Thank
to see
you.